We really need a fresh look at what's going on in the market from a builder perspective. We need to better understand exactly where the market is, not just what people are installing, but what are the business rationales that builders are using to invest in tech? What do the procurement processes look like? How does the nuance shake out with the types of homes and the various attitudes that are shaping standardization? So we are publishing this week a new round of research called Inside the Builder's Tech Playbook 2022. We've been really pleased to have the nice guys at NICE, Brett Jacobs and the team, join us as a sponsor, as well as Sean Stovall's team at GE Appliances that co-sponsor this research. And so I just want to share a few highlights. One of the things I think about is compared to 3 years ago, when builders were just testing the market, let's throw some smart speakers in, let's throw some endpoint solutions in. Now we really see that builders are all in. In fact, in our most recent research, 96% of new home builders standardize on some tech for some share of every home type. So it doesn't matter whether we're talking about luxury single family or starter homes, or move-up homes, or semi-customs, or build-to-rent or vacation rentals, we're seeing standardization happen. Now, what does it mean to standardize? One of the things we're found out is that it means something different for almost every builder. But at a minimum, what it means is that these devices are becoming part of the basic specifications. And they're being included and not just sold as upgrades. And so in this research, we're really trying to parse out what's not sold, what's sold only as an upgrade, what's sold as standard only or standard and upgrade. One of the things we found out is that 29% of builders standardize in 50% or more of their volume of homes. And so that's a significant move forward. Now, another way to get at the level of activity with builders is to ask them whether they identify with these definitions of being somewhat active by offering tech only as upgrades, by being moderately active by offering some standardized tech and some as upgrades, or being strongly active, where they're standardizing across their homes and upgrades. And so that we see among builders of all volume sizes, fully 2/3 now are identified with being moderately active in installing technology. And among those with the volume of 100 or more completes a year, that 61% strongly agree with their activity level. Now we know standardization takes lots of different paths. And so one of the things we did is we tested 11 different business rationales for making the business case for investing in smart home technology. And so what we see pretty consistently across builders of all home types is that the number one driving rationale is that they want to create a delightful home buyer living experience, which is kind of it's a soft ROI, right? It's I want to deliver a better experience. Number two was I want to build brand value as an innovative and high quality brand. So again, it's kind of a soft metric, but builders are starting to understand that a tech-forward approach establishes long-term brand value for the builder. And then finally, that builders are starting to really realize that to stay competitive, that they have to introduce at least some standardized tech as basic table stakes. So it's just the ante to play the game. Now, what's interesting is that builders necessarily today aren't really driving up the individual sales price of homes. They're thinking more revenue in terms of scale. And if you look at the rationale towards the bottom of the list, it's probably hard for you to read from where you're sitting, but builders today are less cognizant of some of the what I call higher end values of technology, and that is protecting their assets during the build, or developing operational savings during the pre-construction phase. But we think that will come, and there are certainly some builders that are realizing those benefits. Similarly, kind of at the bottom of the whole rationale is to generate incremental revenue from referral fees. We know some builders are actually doing quite well in referring to integrators or referring to alarm dealers, but a lot of builders haven't yet figured out that they can develop incremental revenue as well. Now, very quickly, 4 attitudes driving standardization. One of the things is that we have a very high level of agreement with builders who say we continually review our technology strategy in order to stay up with the pace of innovation. It's no longer a one and done, or we're going to settle on this controller or this home control system, and then we're going to use it till everybody gets tired of it. Builders today realize with the pace of change, they have to constantly reevaluate and fine-tune the kind of tech that they're deploying at a regional level for all different kinds of price points and styles of homes. Similarly, we see that builders have strong agreement that they standardize at an investment level designed to wow the consumer. So it's not a minimal investment level, like just enough to compete, that builders are really trying to, again, create that delightful experience. We find that builders largely are standardizing at the regional level, not at the national level, because they have to respond to market circumstances in a market by market environment. And then finally, that they tend to standardize on a mix of brands. So this is really great news for manufacturers because there's room to get in the conversation. And you're not locked out because these builders are constantly reevaluating, and they may deploy one set of brands in one market and a completely different set of brands in another market. When we talk about what are your preferred methods of delivering home control technology, I think this is really interesting. So as of this summer, 43% of our builders said that their preferred method for delivering home control technology was a smart security system integrated with home control platform. It wasn't too many years ago when a lot of builders were experimenting with smart speakers as being the home control mechanism. We see a lot of those experiments really went by the wayside. And a lot of those builders, some of them even top 10 builders, have moved to platforms where they can really address a lot more use cases and they can provide a much more stable platform. Now, voice is still very important, but it's become very much a complementary technology to the smart security systems, to the home control systems installed by an integrator, or even to DIY control systems. Now, very quickly, I'll fly through this. These are some charts just that are, they're describing. The dark color is tech that is installed as standard only, and the light blue is tech that's installed as standard and upgrades. And so we see, like in home automation, smart door locks have rocketed to the top. The smart security use case is still the predominant use case in home automation devices. When it comes to smart appliances, almost all of the major manufacturers now are connecting all of their appliances. So almost by de facto, we're seeing smart appliance adoption grow. We see certainly refrigerators and dishwashers and clothes and wash dryers leading the way. When it comes to comfort and water, single unit air conditioners, followed by some of these other devices you see there, more and more installed as standard with upgrade options. Plumbing features are more recent in smart plumbing features, but certainly we've seen a lot of innovation in smart faucets and other bath fixtures. And finally, when we talk about builders, what are you interested in most in the next 3 to 5 years? It's not surprising that smart security and smart home automation are at the top of the list, but now what we're seeing is smart kitchen, healthy home, and EV chargers are now moving into the top 5. So I certainly think in the next few years, you're going to see a lot more investment in these areas. Certainly with the current market today, using technology to differentiate your products and really capture that buyer out there who, and now it's their market and not the seller's market, is increasingly a successful way for builders to win in the marketplace.